Week 9 is on tap. Let's quickly look just at the Nick 10, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Auburn's at Freeport, Guilford's at Hononegah, Belvedere's at East, Boylan's at Belvedere North, and Harlem is at Jefferson. Quickly, which would you? There's a couple of games that might be games of the week.
Well, the first two there, those are both first-round playoff games. Auburn at Freeport. Freeport has to win to get that fifth win. Makes you eligible, doesn't guarantee you a spot, although historically speaking, usually 5 wins in the Nick 10 get you in, usually.
Because of the points?
Because of the points, the way it all works out. And same thing with Guilford at Hononegah. Guilford, first-round playoff game. You're 4-4. You have to pick up the fifth win if you want to move on or have a chance to move on. Although I will say this, too. Interesting game for Hononegah. They're sitting at 5-3 right now.
They don't want to be 5-4.
No, because if they lose, they go 5-4. They're going to have a tough, probably one of the toughest first-round games they've had in a long time. Because they'll probably be a very, very low seed.
And they'll be on the road.
On the road and all that. And they're probably going to be on the road either way. But yeah, so a big game when you look at it from that standpoint, too. Belvedere at East, I think it's a big game for Belvedere. We've seen East be more competitive here as the season has gone on.
Yeah, they gave North the game last night.
And we've seen Belvedere be hit or miss in different spots. There's times where they've looked as good as anybody in the conference, and there's times where they haven't. So
they have been a strange team.
They have been, but
the yellow uniforms, I tell you, Matt.
Right, but that's another team that they're sitting at 5-3 right now. A 6th win obviously guarantees you the playoff spot. I think 5 wins will be enough. But we've seen them so many times be that 5-4 team that has to go on the road, usually play one of the top teams,
or go into Chicago on Friday night.
in the first round, and it makes it tough to win a game. Obviously, again, they drop down in class, so they're kind of better than the record indicates. But a 6th win for them would be so huge to maybe not make that first round game so tough. Give you a chance to, probably still going to be on the road, but a chance to maybe win and then maybe have a home game that second round, where all of a sudden, they could do what Byron did last year, where all of a sudden you're looking at a 6-3 team that's all of a sudden won a couple of games in the playoffs.
And the seeding system, Matt, will make a difference because they're going to put the better team, split them apart.
Exactly.
So a team you might have played, you're probably not going to play now.
That is true. That is true. Belvedere North, I think it's a big game for them too. Because if they win, they'll have 7 wins and a pretty good chance at a home playoff game. Same thing when you look at
Harlem.
I look at Harlem, trying to get that 7th win, which it's going to put you right on that line where you may or may not get a home game. Although, again, with the reseeding, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, because 7 wins might be good enough for a home game now. That's always kind of right on that line in the past. But
if you look at some of the seeding in the other tournaments and stuff, it has made a big difference on how things have taken place.
But 2 big wins, because I doubt 6 wins get you a home game.
No, I don't think so either.
So, you want to get those 7th wins if you're those 2 teams. So I think a lot of interesting contests when you look at the Nick 10, where there's going to be a lot of things on the line, really for every team, and even for the other teams. East, we've talked about them being more competitive. So obviously, if they could pick up a win over a team that's probably going to be in the playoffs, that'd be huge going into next year.
They got nothing to lose either. Nothing to lose.
It's been a rough year for Boylan as compared to some years past.
They got a 2-game winning streak.
But they got a 2-game winning streak, and they'd love to pick up a 3rd one again over a team that's going to be going into the playoffs. That'd be great momentum for some of their younger players, going into next year where they hope they can rebound and maybe do some things that they've done in the past.
And also, we want to talk about the guy you told us about from Harlem, Brendan.
Oh, Brenton Shaw?
Brenton Shaw. He's number 2 for a single rushing season. I think he can break it.
Right.
And he might have broke it Friday night because he had a couple long runs, but he's a key for them.
Yeah, he is absolutely a key for that Harlem team. He can do some things, not quite as big as James Robinson, but for the people that, I don't want to make a comparison, but, for the people that say, well, I don't know if Robinson could do what he could do in the Nick 10, look what Shaw's doing. He's having an unbelievable year. He's a great athlete. Robinson's the all-time leading rusher. He's one of the best players the state's seen, especially in this area.
The whole country.
Exactly. But, like I said, if you want to know, have a glimpse at least into what Robinson can do. Look what Shaw's doing this year.
And he's just a junior, so
exactly. He's going to have a big senior year next year. But yeah, he's a key for them. And it's something that Harlem hasn't had a lot of. They had Whitsick that one year, but they seem to lean on Shaw a little bit more than they did on Whitsick there when he was running really well. They've kind of got a bell cow going into the playoffs this year that they can kind of lean on, and maybe
what was that word?
Bell cow.
Was it not? That's a new one. Tell me what
Oh,
that...
yeah, you'll hear that all the time on NFL broadcasts and whatnot.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like it when you talk football.
There
like
you
that.
go.
Yeah, but Brenton Shaw, he's probably going to break the single rushing record at Harlem, but he also had 300-yard game against Boylan.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you want something to look forward to for them, that's it. It's just going to be an interesting week.
Right.
Auburn does not want to share the title. We've talked about that.
They want it. They want it.
And Freeport wants to get in the playoffs.
Exactly.
So that is going to be awesome.
I think that is going to be an unbelievable game. I really do.
And you go over to the Big Northern West. Of course, Rock Falls, probably the worst team in the Big Northern. I'm not trying to be nasty, but they are. They travel to Rockford Lutheran for the final game, James's final home game. Hang on.
Right. Well, it's probably for Lutheran. It's going to be a nice finish. They'll have to focus, come in ready to play, but
hang on.
They might be able to get some guys out early going into the playoffs. So
it could be
because they had a big injury last year going into the playoffs.
Yeah, but they want to be prepared because they had all those cramps against Byron. They want to make sure. Also, big game. Stillman Valley at Oregon, doesn't matter what the records are.
Right, that'll be a good game. Winnebago at Mendota. Winnebago needing a fifth win.
And Mendota can play well when they're up to it.
Yeah, exactly. And then Byron at Dixon. Byron's looking for a seventh win and trying to hopefully have a home playoff game.
And you're going to be at the NUIC game.
Yeah, Galena at Dakota. Great game. And again, when you're talking about potential home games, things like that, that'll have a long way to go in playoff seeding.
For Galena, too.
Yep, both teams, yep.